record from my side and let me share this. We'll close the session in 10 minutes. Okay. So nothing to worry. Right. Fine. So these are the different ways of authentication methods. Means authentication means simply verifying that correct user is accessing the resource is called authentication. You may authenticate using username and password. You may authenticate using your phone pin, means pin, normal pin. You may authenticate using biometric. You may authenticate using swiping your ID card also. If you swipe your ID card, doors will be unlocked, right? So there are different ways of authentication methods. Okay, these are the different ways. For common example, I'm saying for server room, these are the common methods. If you go to Gmail and all, what is the way of authentication?
I have a password.
Yes, giving username and password. For net banking, giving username and password. Okay, these are all authentication methods. Means how you are entering into the server is called authentication. Okay, how can you enter into the server is called authentication. We have two ways. We can enter in two ways. Okay, in SQL Server, we can enter using two ways. One way is Windows authentication. Second way is SQL Server authentication or mixed mode authentication. Both are same only. Mixed mode. Mixed mode means Windows plus SQL is called mixed mode. Okay. So what happened if you choose Windows authentication? Why it is not asking password? What happened if you choose SQL Server authentication? Right? Fine. So let's go with this diagram. Imagine this is your server machine, Windows server. Okay. Imagine this is your Windows server. Right. So let me go with one SQL server. SQL server, SQL server. Let's go with this one. So imagine this is your SQL server. In this Windows machine, you have installed SQL server here. Okay. So who can access this SQL server?
DBA.
Yes. Those who are having access, not only DBA, those who are having access, they can, okay, connect to my Windows server. Right. So this is your laptop. Imagine this is your laptop. Right. So in the Windows authentication, of course, here, like here, as discussed last time, you will type MSTSC. Okay. Right. You will type MSTSC. If you are in the office, imagine this is the office. You will type MSTSC. You will get a IP address. You will enter IP address. Then you can connect to the server. Same way. Okay. So you are going to type MSTSC here. Come on. Or remote desktop, anything is fine. Okay, so MSTSC or remote, you will type here so that you can directly enter into this machine. Okay, so from here you can directly enter into this machine from your laptop. You are a DBA, imagine you are a DBA, you can directly enter into this machine. So here in the MSTSC, once you type, okay, you are giving this server IP address. Okay, imagine 10 dot our server IP address is 192.168.0.106 is our server IP address. So you will simply type this server IP address here under MSTSC section, and it will give you a username and password. You are giving username and password like this. Okay, so now if you type here, you will get this window, right? So to which server you want to connect after this class. Okay, so after this one, okay, so you will get this IP address, right? So just click on connect button, right? So once you just click on connect button, it will ask you to enter username and password. Okay, if you choose use different account, it will ask you to enter username and password. right? You will enter username and password. So which username password you are going to enter? This server username, Windows server name, username and password you are going to enter here, right? This Windows server username and Windows server password you are going to enter here. Once you enter, automatically it will connect to you. Why you are giving administrator here? Why you are giving administrator here?
We access the server, sir.
Why? Because administrator is already an account which was there inside your Windows machine, right? By using this account name, by using this account password, you are entering into this Windows machine, right? Agree? What it means, if you want to log into Gmail means your account should be created in the Gmail. If you want to log into net banking means your account profile should be created in that particular net banking database, right? So if you want to log into the server means your account should be created in the server, right? Right or wrong? That account name and password you are giving here. We don't have different accounts, so that's why we are using administrator accounts. We don't create any different accounts, right? Administrator. So this is the administrator account, this name you are giving and this password you are giving, then you are able to log into this machine. Then from here you can connect to SQL server. Again, that is different case. So if you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking the password. Username and password is not asking here. If you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking username and password. Why it is not asking username and password? If you see here, you are entering into this 106 machine using administrator credentials or not, right? You are entering into this 106 machine. Whenever you are just typed one MSTSC, you are giving this machine IP address and then you are giving this server administrator account and that administrator matching password you are giving. Once you log into this machine, you have to imagine this diagram. Once you log into this machine using administrator, while installing SQL Server, I already gave add current user option. As I have installed SQL Server with administrator connection, so this account is created, right? This user account is created when you click on add current user option. Why? Because I have logged into administrator account and I have installed. So add current user means this account is added in the server login, SQL Server login, right? So once you just logged into the SQL Server, an account is created for you. Remember, if no account is created in this login screen, that person cannot log into SQL Server. Whoever there in this login section, only these people connect to my SQL Server. Remember, very important point. Whoever there for which we have created accounts in this logins option, they only can connect to my SQL Server, right? So while installing, whenever you click add current user, login will be created automatically. So no need to create this login. It will be created automatically during installation with the sysadmin privileges. Once you click connect button, once you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking username and password. Why? Because as it is Windows authentication, it will take Windows logged in username. Who was logged in currently into the Windows machine? Administrator is already logged in. So administrator, it will take computer name / administrator. If you choose Windows authentication, it won't ask username. Why? Because Windows authentication is nothing but the account which you logged into the Windows machine, the same account will be used to connect to the SQL Server also. So that's why it is not asking username. Okay, that's why it's not asking username. But why it is not asking password? See, if I can log into your Gmail account without password, security threat, right? I can access all your Gmail, I can access your net banking, everything I can access, right? It's a security threat, right? Why it is not asking password here? Means even though if you don't have password, can I log into the SQL Server? Right. So whenever you are entering into this machine, you will give this username and password, right? This username and password you will give, right? Your Windows operating system will verify whether you are a current user or not, whether you are a successful user or not, right? Your Windows operating system will verify whether you gave proper credentials or not, like correct username and password. Once you give correct username and password, then it will allow you to access this machine. Okay, it will allow you to access this machine. If same account is created in the SQL server, okay, add current user, this one is add current user option. Okay, if same account is created in the SQL server, then you can happily connect to the SQL server without giving the password. Got it? Is it clear? Any issues, any doubts here? Please let me know. Here, once you type MSTSC, you are getting username and password screen. You are giving this username and password. This username is a part of the Windows machine and you are giving correct password of this machine. So it is allowing you to enter inside this Windows machine first. Once you enter into the Windows machine here, what you are going to do? You will type SSMS, right? Here you will type SSMS. In the server, you will type SSMS. And then you are going to connect to the SQL server, right? So if you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking username and password. Why? Because you have already logged in with username and password successfully in the Windows machine. SQL Server authentication is more stronger. Sorry, Windows authentication is more stronger than SQL Server authentication. SQL Server will believe Windows authentication. So there is a belief for SQL Server on Windows authentication. So SQL Server will allow you to connect to the SQL Server without using username and password. But internally, it is taking username and password. See here, you cannot give it, but automatically it will take. Don't think everyone can connect to, those who can access my Windows machine can connect to my SQL server. No. If a separate person logged in, the name is going to be changed here, not administrator. If name is changed, there is no account created for him in the SQL server. So once he click on connect button, he will get login failure error. As we are using administrator, see, if I use your Gmail ID password also, I can log into Gmail, right? What is the logic here? Gmail don't understand that is you are using the proper username and password or I am using your username and password. Gmail will understand only whether it is getting proper username and mapped password or not. Whoever gives those two things, it will allow you to access, right? So in the same way, if you are going to connect using administrator account, if you logged in with administrator account, as administrator login is already created in the SQL server, if you choose Windows authentication without asking username and password, it will allow you to connect to the SQL server, but not others. Why? Because there is no account created for them in the logins list. Is it clear, guys? How Windows authentication will work? Why it is not asking username and password? Clear? Any issues, any doubts, please let me know. Clear, everyone, please?
Clear.
Okay, right. So if you choose SQL Server
Okay, sir.
authentication, yeah. If you choose SQL Server authentication, then it will ask username and password. Here also there is no exception. Okay. For example, if I give any login which is not there in this list, imagine let me give one login. Okay, any login. Okay, let me go with the Suresh. And let me give some default. Which password I'll give? First of all, account is not there. What password I'll give? Okay, simply if I click connect button, I'll get this login failed for user 18456. Remember 18456 is a common error in the security. Login failed 18456. Error number is 18456. Very common error in the security. So here Suresh is not there in the SQL server. Okay, in the SQL server logins list. That's why I'm getting the error. If I create Suresh login here, then if I give while creating login, it will ask one password to create. Okay, I'll give one password for Suresh. If I give same Suresh username and same password, whatever I'm giving password while creating Suresh login here, if I gave same Suresh password, then I can log into a SQL server. This is SQL authentication. Means after login to Windows server first, then again you are giving username and password by choosing SQL authentication. Then also the same formula will be applied. In Windows authentication, you can directly log into the SQL server without giving username and password, but your account should be there in the logins list. In the SQL Server authentication also, once you log into the Windows machine or Windows server or your laptop SSMS, once you open the SSMS, if you give the server name and IP address, okay, then it will, if you have SQL, if your login is SQL login, okay, there are two types of logins also. How we have two types of authentication? There are two types of logins: Windows login, SQL login. Usually DBS will use Windows login so that we don't give any password while connecting to the instance in the SSMS. SQL authentication means who will use? Developers, users. Okay, so functionality wise, there is no difference between SQL login and Windows login. Everyone will have same rights. A SQL login also can have sysadmin rights. A Windows login also can have sysadmin rights. Only difference is if it is Windows login, okay, no need to give username and password. If it is SQL login, you have to give username and password. That is the only difference between the Windows login and SQL login. But the common thing is you should be a member of this logins list. Then only SQL Server will allow you to connect. Why it is not asking username and password for Windows authentication? In the Windows level, you are already successfully verified user. So it will check whether the username is existed in the SQL Server or not. If you choose Windows authentication, if this username is existed in the SQL Server, then it will allow you. If someone logged in now with a different name, here also the name will be changed. Imagine to this Windows machine, Suresh logged into this Windows machine. Once Suresh logged into this Windows machine, here under administrator, you cannot see administrator. You can see Suresh name. Okay, right, like this in your laptop. If I logged in, I'll get Hemant name. If I logged in with Suresh, I'll get Suresh name. If Hemant login is already created in the SSMS SQL server, then Hemant can log in. If Hemant login is not created in the SQL server, Hemant cannot log in. So if you logged in with Suresh here, the name will be changed to Suresh. If it is changed to Suresh, when you open SSMS in the server, you will get computer name / Suresh. There is no computer name / Suresh user account here, right? So simply it will be failed. That Suresh cannot connect to the SQL server. Clear, guys? Any issues, any doubts? The main thing is the account should be there in the SQL server. Then only he can connect to the SQL server. If it is Windows authentication, he can directly log into Windows machine. Then he can open SSMS here. Then he can connect, select a Windows authentication. Then he can connect to SQL server. If it is mixed mode authentication or SQL authentication, okay, either he can open SSMS and he can choose SQL authentication and he can give his own name. What name the account is created, he can give his name and he can give his password. If that account is existed and if you give proper password, then it will allow you to connect to the SQL server. Sometimes for users, for developers, okay, so we usually don't allow them, okay, we usually don't allow them to connect to the server directly. Only DBS can connect to the Windows server directly. Okay, and Windows team also can connect to the Windows server directly. Other developers and user, okay, SSMS, only SSMS will be installed in their laptop. They will open SSMS, okay, and then they will type the server name like this, they will type the server name here. In this section, they will type the server name and they will choose SQL authentication, and they will give here, they will give their own name. Okay. Whatever name it was created during like whatever, like they will request, right? So once they requested the access and all, we'll create username for them, right? So they have to give same username and password so that they can connect to the SQL server. This is how a SQL and Windows authentication will work. If you have any doubts, let me know. Otherwise, we can disconnect for today. Any doubts, any issues? No doubts? Okay, that's fine. Okay. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we are going to meet, okay, by 7. Okay. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.